Great, good list.
Banoffee, boxes of organic produce.
Why do they make you angry?
Well, I don't know, they just do. People who tell you they're detoxing, this assumption that one composts, makers of short films. Oh, PowerPoint displays.
Okay, stop you there. Sorry, I don't know your first name because you're not wearing your badge.
Ah, the insistence that one wears a name badge wherever there's a table with lime juice and static electricity in the carpet.
Right, now then, what have all these things got in common?
Asininity.
Yes, whatever it means. What else? Give up?
I often do.
Anybody?
Him.
Is the right answer. The one common denominator is you.
Mr. Reardon.
Don't you think it's better that we're all on first name terms?
No.
Well, you're the connection between all these annoying things. So maybe, just maybe, they aren't quite so annoying after all. And the problem lies somewhere else, Mr. Reardon. Yes?
It's Ed.
Okay, Ed! Great! You may not realise this, but you've just taken your first step to becoming a nicer guy to be with. But perhaps more important than that, a nicer guy to yourself.
Good.
You know, you can call this whatever you want. Anger management, psychotherapeutic self-consciousness raising. But I like to think of this room as a one-stop shop with a mirror inside it. Are you okay with that?
Yes, just about.
And I want you guys to take a look at yourselves in that mirror every time something annoys you and you feel yourself becoming obstropulous.
I think you mean...
Yes, Ed?
Nothing.
Okay, let's burst some balloons.
Morning, Pete. There we are.
Oh, what's that?
The Armageddon Factor. 95,000 words of nail-biting international espionage with a horse-racing spin.
Oh, right.
As instructed, Brett Scott has been transformed from a maverick racing driver into a daredevil jockey.
Couldn't you just have emailed it to me?
Yes, but I wanted to bring in my invoice personally, so 1,400 quid, plus an extra £3.75 for the complete list of Derby winners I've added at the end. Rather a nice touch, I thought.
Yeah, it looks really great.
It's a disc.
Yeah, but I can feel the racecourse atmos coming off it. One tiny thing.
What?
Somebody mentioned a jolly.
Hello, Felix.
You know, I was at Ascot the other day, in the Babylon publishing box. They flew us out there, and a chopper gave us a disgraceful quantity of alcohol and 5,000 smackers in cash for a flutter. What lovely people.
I take it those abused childhood memoirs they publish are selling pretty well, then?
Indeed they are. I'm so pleased for them. What are you doing here, Reardon? On the scrounge again?
I was delivering the new Brett Scott manuscript.
Ah, yes, the Olympic diver.
No, the champion jockey.
Ping, haven't you told him yet?
Yeah, Ed, you're really going to hate us for this.
Oh, don't dress it up. Just tell him what he's got to do.
So what have I got to do?
Thing is, Ed, this jockey's just been arrested for, horse fixing and bringing drugs back into the country when he's been racing abroad.
Yeah, frightful pity. We had such high hopes for him as an author, but he turns out to be a wrong 'un. But the good news is, there's this marvellous young diver. I saw him on television.
Oh, so things got a bit dull in the hospitality box, did they?
Yeah, well, they did. Some of those races are interminable. Anyway, this boy's clearly going all the way, so we need to get his first novel onto the shelves and diving off again to the mutual benefit of all concerned.
Right.
So you're going to have to tweak the text again. I'm really, 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 really sorry, Ed.
Oh, don't be. He's a lazy bugger. It'll do him good. Anyway, it's his patriotic duty.
Just a minute, Felix. I'll deal with this. Look, Ed, before you fly off the handle...
No. All right, what I'll do is I'll go back to my earlier draft before Brett Scott was a jockey and just change driver to diver. Shouldn't take long. What I could also do is put a giant man-eating octopus in the Olympic pool. And it might be guarding the secret entrance to Osama bin Laden's underwater lair? Not sure.
And you can stop that silly sarcasm. It hasn't helped your career at all.
Ed, why are you pulling that face?
I'm just looking at myself in an imaginary mirror. Thursday. With the prospect of immediate payment sinking faster than Brett Scott with an octopus tentacle tugging at his foot, it was time to seek other means of remuneration. The council coffers looked hard to breach in view of my recent encounter with Sue Fishpool, but buoyed up by my anger management certificate, and pen, I was hopeful that, like Richard III, I could turn my discontent, if not into glorious summer, then at least a couple of £100 for a treatment for the community play. And like Shakespeare's differently abled anti-hero, I set about wooing the Lady Anne, a.k.a. said Fishpool, who I found having a crafty fag outside the goods entrance at the Civic Centre before the next stakeholders meeting. Rain's easing off anyway.
Yes.
Not long till the meeting starts.
No.
Just time to make a few notes for a book I'm working on. Poisoned diving board, ? Ah, I see you've noticed the pen I'm using.
Actually, I hadn't.
Well, thereby hangs a tale, because after our previous contretemps, for which I apologise unreservedly, Sue, I resolved to do something about it and get myself an attitude makeover. Hence the pen saying, "Don't lose it, I didn't." No apostrophe in didn't, but never mind, life's too short. Changed man, I think you'll find.
So it's nothing to do with the police officer coming round and threatening you with prosecution?
I was about to do it anyway, but I won't pretend it didn't concentrate the mind wonderfully, to quote one of my illustrious predecessors, Dr. Johnson's ghostwriter.
Well, an apology's a start anyway.
Oh, believe me, it is only a start. I intend to put as much back into the stakeholders forum, and indeed into the community, as I possibly can, really.
Yes, well, I probably shouldn't have called you a pompous public school twit.
No, you should. You absolutely should. Anyway, it's all in the past. The past. What an extraordinary time that was. Especially in this community. Fascinating events. Fascinating taxes. The story behind every one.
So you're a writer then?
Ah, got me. Mea culpa. Guilty. I normally tell people I'm a civil servant or something in case they say, "Ooh, you should put me in one of your books." I mean, you wouldn't believe the tedious, bloody... but they're nice people, and it's good of them to take an interest.
So what are you working on at the moment?
Oh, just something to pay the income tax. Tax! There we go again. I mean, people think it's a dull subject, but there's the windows, the salt, tithes. You've got a whole history of a community containing that one controlling idea. Yep, somebody's going to do a hell of a play about that one of these days.
Look, I think it's time to go in, but how would you feel about talking to the Cultural Enablement Committee?
Oh, they sound right up my street. Ah, the public library, gymnasium for the mind.
You again. Just wait, please.
Yes, of course. So much more user-friendly since they did away with those stuffy old silence notices.
I'm busy.
Right, don't let me disturb you. When you've finished that very difficult-looking Sudoku, perhaps you wouldn't mind directing me to the local historical records section?
Don't ask me. Look on the microfiche.
Right, and where?
Give us some change for the Ram Rider.
There you are, dear. And don't forget, all games are free between 2 and 4 if you just show me your ASBO.
Thanks.
Ah, bless him. And this microfiche, where would that be?
I already told you. First floor.
So you did. Thank you.
And don't go hogging the computer. And no looking at porn.
Certainly not.
If you want to do that, you'll have to fill in one of these.
Oh, hello, Stan.
Oh, what are you doing here? Taking your own books out again so you can get your public lending right money up? I thought they'd stop you doing that.
No. But tell me, what draws you to the online Doomsday Book?
20 grand. That's what they're paying the writer of the community play, more fools them.
Are they really?
So I thought I'd have a go. Try and claw back some of that council tax I have to fork out.
Good idea.
Pity you kick yourself into touch. So what are you doing?
Oh, just some, family history. See how far the name Elgar goes back. But what's the plot of this play you're writing, if you don't mind me asking?
I thought I'd make it about the Aylesbury Seven in olden times. They're my heroes. They went to the gallows rather than pay the sheep tax to the Lord of the Manor.
Oh, so we're seeing this from the tax evader's point of view.
We certainly are. I'm going to call it Shove It Up Your Doublet.
Right. There doesn't seem to be much of a celebration of local authority funding through the ages. Isn't that what the brief was?
Well, you're always telling us to write what we believe in, and this is what I am. This is my moral compass.
Well, you carry on exactly as you are, Stan. That 20,000 is as good as yours.
I think so.
Friday. It's always sad to see a fellow writer fall by the wayside, but I thought it best to let Stan travel the rocky road to rejection and rewrite hell by himself. a lesson that would stand him in good stead in the long term, by which time, with a bit of luck, the fee for the community play would be safely in the bank account of the Berkhamsted 1. Sorry, Berkhamsted 2, of course. I planned to make my own celebration of local taxation down the ages, ooze political correctness from every page of the script, from an opening multi-faith maypole dance to the final big production number, We're the Boys in Band G. But that would have to wait until Brett Scott's slightly less politically correct triumph over his rival divers and the forces, make that swarthy forces, of international terrorism, the delectable and ever-versatile Carla at his side. And in an ergonomic bikini, obviously.
Just one tiny thing.
Yes?
He can't be a diver anymore.
Why not?
Really, Ed, don't you read the Sunday newspapers?
Normally I would, but that often goes hand in hand with having time off at the weekend instead of spending 72 hours rewriting the Armageddon Factor.
Well, if you had, you'd have seen that wretched boy they were calling the Droitwich Dolphin covered himself in disgrace at the regional championships.
What did he do?
He only disputed the judge's decision on his final dive.
Well, that's not so bad.
And he pushed her in the pool and then didn't use the foot bath on his way out to the car park where he smashed his trainer's windscreen.
Thereby incurring a life ban.
And with it, I imagine, yet another change of career for Brett Scott.
Afraid so.
Oh, really? Let's get into the blame game. It's just a pity the poor boy didn't have an anger management course available to him. Hey-ho.
Oh, so that's what you've done, Ed. We wondered what had happened to you. That's why you haven't gone berserk and all red in the face like you do.
The betting in the office was that you had Alzheimer's.
Yeah, and that you were forgetting to lose it, because your brain had gone all...
You've just cost me a fiver, Reardon.
Well, take it out of the Brett Scott fee whenever I get it. So, what form of sporting endeavour should he turn his hand to next?
Well, his feet, actually.
The floor of the velodrome swam before Brett's eyes as the drug administered by Dubchenko at the embassy cocktail party 12 hours before the start of the Madison began to take hold. Oh, God. As the 48-gear something bike, Google that in a minute, lurched to a sickening 180-degree angle, Brett saw out of the corner of his eye Carla being manhandled by two leather-jacketed...
Hello, it's Sue Fishpool. We read your synopsis for the community play, and I've got some news for you.
Yeah. Hello? Yes, Sue, hello.
Oh, hi, Ed. Yes. Well, Ed, as I say, the committee's read your synopsis.
And did they like it?
Yes, they liked it.
And?
Well, really, it's just one tiny thing.
Well, if one tiny thing means what it usually means, which is that the whole lot has to be completely rewritten to celebrate the Enclosures Act of 1805, or the Chartists, or the Tolpuddle Martyrs, or the bloody women getting a bloody vote, involving another 4 nights of me going without sleep, is that what you mean by a tiny thing?
No, I was just going to ask you if you were VAT registered and where we should pay the cheque to, but if that's your attitude, we'll go somewhere else.
No, it isn't my attitude. Well, it used to be, but it isn't now. Sue, listen, no, please. No, gone.
Ed Reardon's Week starred Christopher Douglas with Rachel Atkins, Stephanie Cole, John Fortune, Rita May, Barunka O'Shaughnessy, Tom Price and Geoffrey Whitehead. It was written by Christopher Douglas and Andrew Nichols. The producer was Dawn Ellis.